Welcome back. In this second part of our high-level significant weather charts, SIG WX, series, we'll dive deeper into how to interpret these charts and how they affect flight planning and high-altitude operations. As a pilot, it's essential to understand the implications of jet streams, turbulence, cloud formation, and precipitation at cruising altitudes to ensure smooth and safe flight paths. Let's begin with jet streams. These fast-moving air currents at high altitudes can greatly affect your flight. High-level SIG WX charts highlight the position, intensity, and direction of jet streams. By using this data, pilots can take advantage of tailwinds or avoid headwinds to improve fuel efficiency and flight time. For example, if you're flying from San Francisco to New York and the SIG WX chart shows a strong jet stream from the west, you can adjust your altitude to fly within the tailwinds, saving both time and fuel. On the other hand, a headwind might cause delays, and pilots can opt for altitude changes to minimize the impact. Another important feature is the turbulence data on the chart. Areas of severe turbulence are typically represented in red or orange. These areas often coincide with jet streams or convection, and pilots can plan to avoid them by adjusting their flight level or changing their route. Avoiding turbulence is not only about comfort, it's crucial for safety and stability during high-altitude flight. Let's now look at clouds. High-level SIG WX charts show the presence of cirrostratus, cirrocumulus, and cumulonimbus clouds, CBS. CBS, in particular, are significant for pilots as they indicate thunderstorm activity. These clouds are associated with severe turbulence, lightning, and heavy precipitation. If the chart shows areas with CBS, pilots will adjust their route to avoid the storm. Cloud cover at high altitudes can also indicate areas where icing could occur. Pilots need to be aware of temperature and cloud types to anticipate when they might encounter icing conditions, especially if the aircraft is flying through cirrus clouds. The chart will help pilots plan to fly above or below certain cloud layers to avoid dangerous conditions. The high-level SIG WX chart also provides information on tropical systems such as hurricanes. If there's a tropical storm or hurricane along your flight path, the chart will show its position and forecasted movement. Pilots need to stay updated on the intensity of these storms and adjust their flight path to avoid the most severe conditions. For example, flying from Miami to Havana, the chart shows a hurricane moving toward your route. Pilots can adjust their route to reroute around the storm and choose altitudes that avoid turbulence and strong winds associated with the hurricane. Wind shear is another key concern for pilots flying at high altitudes. The high-level SIG WX chart shows areas where wind direction and speed change rapidly over a short distance. These areas are often associated with turbulent conditions and can be dangerous for aircraft. Pilots must be aware of wind shear and plan their approach and altitude accordingly to avoid unsafe conditions. A real-world example: you're flying across the Atlantic, and the high-level SIG WX chart shows a strong wind shear zone near your route. This zone is forecasted to cause turbulence, so you might change altitude or route to avoid these conditions. It's critical to monitor these charts and adjust as needed to ensure smooth operations. Now let's talk about precipitation. High-level SIG WX charts show regions of precipitation, including rain, snow, and hail. These weather phenomena can have a significant impact on flight safety, especially when flying over storm systems. The chart will indicate areas where heavy rain or snow showers are expected, allowing pilots to avoid these regions or adjust their altitude to minimize the impact on the flight. For example, you might be flying from London to Paris, and the high-level SIG WX chart shows heavy rain over the English Channel. Pilots will use this information to adjust their altitude or route to avoid the most intense precipitation, ensuring that the flight remains comfortable and safe for the passengers. Let's consider mountain wave activity as well. High-level SIG WX charts highlight areas where wind interacts with mountains, causing turbulent conditions. These areas are often marked with turbulence or wind shear warnings. Pilots should adjust their flight level when flying over mountain ranges to avoid mountain waves and turbulent air. In summary, high-level SIG WX charts are essential for pilots flying at high altitudes. These charts provide crucial information about weather patterns, wind, turbulence, and cloud cover. By using these charts, pilots can optimize their flight path for fuel efficiency, flight time, and safety. In the next episode, we'll continue exploring high-level SIG WX Part 2, where we'll take a closer look at the real-world applications of these charts in long-haul flight planning, storm avoidance, and high-altitude turbulence management. See you in Meteorology number 57, High-Level Significant Weather Charts, SIG WX, Part 2.